Good evening, baseball fans, and welcome live here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network here on YouTube.com, as well as the IHSAA Champions Network here from Brian J. Dudley Field in Selma, Indiana, here with opening night 2026 here this evening as we welcome in the Richmond Red Devils here this evening to Coach Brian J. Dudley Field as they'll be taking on your Wapahani Raiders here tonight. Again, as always, I'm your play-by-play broadcaster, Brandon Morvillius. Alongside here with me is cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy, back for another season of Raider baseball here on the WHS Network. And we'll kick things off here tonight with our Raiders Live pregame show presented by Henry Community Health Director of Sports Medicine, Tony Cox, a proud sponsor of us here on the WHS Network. So, obviously, a new season is upon us now that the weather's starting to get a little bit nicer. The temperatures are starting to slowly warm up. And we've got a really nice night here at the ballpark. It's right around like 78, 79 degrees outside. We've seen some sunshine as well, especially considering we were supposed to be having some rain tonight. We will take this all day, every day. But it's just great to be back out here and not only that, but being able to bring all of you Raider baseball once again here throughout the season. So, this Raider baseball team, those of you that have not tuned in to our season preview show, make sure to do that here on our YouTube channel here on the WHS Network. But if you haven't, just a breakdown coming into this year. Again, a little bit of a new look to this team, but really for the most part, a lot of the same guys returning. We graduated 5 players last year. 4 of those are starters. So yes, there's going to be some shoes to fill. There's no doubt about that. But I think that, with the roster makeup that this team has and the way that head coach Heath Dudley has a starting lineup tonight, it definitely looks promising. And hopefully, we can put it all together and have another great season. Last year, finished 20-9. We were sectional and regional champions and made it to the semi-state championship game and lost to Boone Grove, which ended up later on being the state champion of 2A last year. So I guess if you're going to get beat, at least get beat against a team that end up being the eventual state champion. But, came up 1 win short of reaching victory field. Again, the ultimate goal is to win it all. Going into every single season, you're not playing for second place or third place or fourth place, whatever the case might be. You're here to be number 1 at the end of it, and we were just a step away from doing so. And these guys are hungry and ready to get back at it for another baseball season and striving and going in the right direction towards victory field. And it all starts right here tonight against the Richmond Red Devils, in which, it's first game for both of these teams. So I'm sure that there's going to be some things go on throughout the course of the game where it's just going to be kind of like a head scratcher. And then there's probably going to be some things where, you can tell, we're really clicking on all cylinders for both teams. But you got to get this first game out of the way. Obviously, you want to play your very best and find a way to win. And from Wapahani's standpoint, obviously, you hope it's the Raiders. But should be a great challenge here tonight. Should be a great ball game. Again, here from beautiful Coach Brian J. Dudley Field. We will step aside here for a quick break, and we'll be back here with the finishing touches of our Raiders Live pregame show presented by Henry Community Health Director of Sports Medicine, Tony Cox, here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. All right, welcome back here to the WHS Network. Once again, here with our Raiders Live pregame show presented by Henry Community Health Director of Sports Medicine, Tony Cox. Again, I'm your play-by-play broadcaster, Brandon Morvillius. Alongside here with me is cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. Going to wrap things up here with our Raiders Live pregame show. As I mentioned, a brand new year, brand new opportunity. Again, we were 20-9 last year, reached the semi-state championship game. Obviously, your aspirations every single year is to reach that state championship game and to win it. Again, this is that first step right here tonight. Now, will tonight's game win or lose dictate how this game or how the season's going to go? No. It's the first game of the season. I wouldn't put a whole lot of stock into it. Yes, you're here to win. It doesn't, even though you might win tonight, doesn't mean that, it's a guarantee that you're going to win the rest of your games, the rest of the season. You hope that that's the case. But, it's a first step right here tonight. Hopefully Wapahani is able to come out here, put their best foot forward, and find a way to get a W. This is I think this is going to be a great year for this team. Obviously, you don't play the games on paper, but I like the way we stack up against anybody. And, again, we'll go through the starting lineup here in just a little while. But no question, you have a really great group of guys returning from last year's team. Some guys that are now going to be dressing, might be junior JV players from last year that are now going to be fulfilling some other roles this year. And that's just, that's a part of the process. It's that next man up. And, you had some guys graduate from last year's team, and now there's some spots to fill, and these guys have continued to prove themselves. They've had a couple, 2 or 3 really good weeks of practice, and they're ready to get back at it and get the season underway here tonight. And hopefully, like I said, hopefully Wapahani will be able to come away with a victory over the Richmond Red Devils here tonight. So again, Wapahani and Richmond coming up. Again, here from Coach Brian J. Dudley Field. Here on the other side of the break, we'll have tonight's starting lineups as well as the national anthem coming up again here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. folks, again, welcome back here from Coach Brian J. Dudley Field here in Selma, Indiana, here with tonight's opening night 2026 here between the visiting Richmond Red Devils as they take on your Wapahani Raiders here tonight. As we take a look here this evening, we'll have tonight's starting lineups coming up here in just a moment. Again, we have our awesome PA announcer out here, Andy Zittgraff, again at the helm this year. So we'll kind of go a little bit in unison here with him. But, gosh, it's great to be back out here. Beautiful facility we have out here at Wapahani. And it's crazy to think that baseball season, softball season is already upon us. Things go by so quickly, I'll tell you. So we'll go ahead and take a look here at tonight's starting lineups. First this evening, again, we'll take a look here at the visiting team tonight, the Richmond Red Devils. So this will be how we line them up here tonight here for the Red Devils. Again, tonight's starting lineups presented by Taylor Architects, Inc., a proud sponsor of the WHS Network. So the starters here tonight, leading off and playing center field, number 4, Darwin Roman, batting second and playing second base. Number 16, Cam Rodriguez. Batting third at the shortstop, number 7, Weston Jones. Batting fourth, and he'll be the designated hitter, number 15, Logan Belenga. He'll be hitting for the pitcher, number 10, Tyrell Brown. Batting fifth and playing right field, number 19, Carson Rodriguez. Batting sixth and playing first base, number 13, Jay Burdett. Batting seventh and catching there for the Red Devils, number 18, Aiden Andreessen. Batting eighth and playing left field, number 12, Jariah DeLucio. And then batting ninth and playing third base, number 1, Corey Day. Again, Michael Medley, is the head coach here for the Richmond Red Devils. And now we'll take a look here at the home team here tonight. Their season opener, your Wapahani Raiders here this evening, and this will be how the Raiders will line them up tonight. Again, tonight's starting lineups, again, presented here by Taylor Architects, Inc. Wapahani will line them up like this, leading off and playing shortstop, number 4, Hayden James. Batting second and playing center field, number 20, Eli Andrews. Batting third and catching, number 5, Quentin James. Batting fourth and playing first base, number 10, Kaysen Purdue. Batting fifth, the third baseman, number 11, Brant Longfellow. Batting sixth and playing left field, number 16, that is Ethan Bragg. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 22, Gabe Lappin. He will be hitting for the pitcher, number 21, Kyle Anderson. Batting eighth, the right fielder, number 9, Caleb Lewis. And then batting ninth and playing second base, number 3, Jarek Longfellow. Again, your Raiders coached by Heath Dudley here in his third season at the helm. And again, he is assisted by Caleb Henderson, Josh Chateau, Gary Lipscomb, as well as Landon Weller and Brock Zittgraff. So that is tonight's Taylor Architects, Inc. starting lineup. Folks, we'll step aside here for a quick break, and we'll be back with tonight's national anthem here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. All right, folks, welcome back here on the WHS Network. Again here for opening night 2026. Richmond and Wapahani set to go toe-to-toe here tonight from beautiful Coach Brian J. Dudley Field. Again, as always, I'm your play-by-play broadcaster, Brandon Morvillius. Alongside here with me is cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. Again, back here with our 16th season of Raider baseball here on the WHS Network. So we'll take a look here tonight. We'll take a look here at our East Jackson Auto Sales defensive alignment here tonight for Wapahani. This is how things will look here for the Raiders here in the outfield. We have out and left Ethan Bragan. Center is Eli Andrews. Over and right, Caleb Lewis. Around the horn here in the infield, Brent Longfellow at third, Hayden James at short, Jarek Longfellow at second, and Cason Purdue at first base. And then our battery mates right here, we have Kyle Anderson towing the rubber here tonight, as Quentin James will be behind home plate hanging the signs. So again, that is our East Jackson Auto Sales defensive alignment here this evening. Again, our umpires here tonight. Out in the field is Mr. Scott Linton. And behind home plate, calling the balls and strikes, is Tanner Hoots. So again, that is quite the umpiring duo. Again, I know those guys pretty well, especially Tanner. Does an excellent job, and we're looking forward to a great night of Indiana High School baseball here on the WHS Network, as the Richmond Red Devils will send to the plate Darwin Roman to start off their 2026 regular season. Again, as I mentioned earlier, Wapahani 20-9 last year, advanced to the semi-state championship game. Looking to get a couple steps closer this season right here. As tonight's first pitch will be fouled off, 0-1 the count to begin the 2026 season with no balls and one strike here on Darwin Roman. Here's the 0-1. That one fouled back to the backstop again, so now quickly 0-2 the count here on Roman. And a great crowd on hand here behind the home plate area along the third baseline and out in the parking lot as well. There beyond left field is Anderson with a strikeout here of Darwin Roman for out number 1 of the ball game. As now that will bring to the plate the second baseman, number 16, Cam Rodriguez. So the strikeout there of Roman, one down here in the inning. Anderson will come to the set, and the pitch swung on and missed, strike 1 here on Cameron Rodriguez. Again, Anderson, that pitch will miss low and inside for ball 1. Anderson had a great sophomore year last year, coming in here to his junior season, looking to be one of the aces to the staff, so to speak. We had really some pretty darn good pitching last year. He had Nate Luce, Cason Purdue, Kyle Anderson, Brent Longfellow, just to name 4 or 5 right there. Had a couple other guys that would also come on in relief. Nate was probably our number 1 guy right there, along with Cason Purdue last year. And Kyle was right there in that mix as well. But these 2 guys are going to be your main aces. Obviously, we'll have some other guys as that pitch will be fouled off to the third base side. Some other guys here that can really get after it right here and tow the rubber anytime they're asked. So it's going to be interesting to see how things shake out here throughout the course of the season. Here's the payoff pitch. Ground ball here, and that's going to get through the left side of the infield into left field for a 1-out base hit there by Cam Rodriguez. So Rodriguez down at first, and that will bring to the plate the shortstop, number 7, Weston Jones, here for the Red Devils. He'll step in here with 1 on and 1 out here to top the first. Anderson comes to the set, glances at first, down the pitch. And that will be in there for a called strike, painting the inside corner. So 0-1 the count here on Jones. Again, Rodriguez down at first base. Again, after that one out single there through the left side of the infield, the pitch. That will be in there for a called strike 2. So good thing right here for Anderson getting ahead of the hitter, putting him in a little bit of a bad position right here. 0-2 the count, the pitch. A good pitcher's pitch right there, and an excellent job there by Quentin James. Blocking that, keeping the ball in front of him. So now the count stands in here at 1-2 strikes. Anderson once again will come to the set. The pitch. Ground ball right here off the glove of Longfellow, and they will not have a play. So Longfellow darn near had that one again, just off the tip of his glove. So with 2 on and only 1 out, it's going to bring up the designated hitter number 15, Logan Belenga, to the plate. The pitch here from Anderson catches the outside corner. It's got 0-1 the count. And Anderson looking to roll up a double play right here. And he's got a couple of ground balls, unfortunately. Those last 2 have not fared too well. Shortstop there, James, and that's all they're going to get there on the Longfellow. So a 6-4 put away for out number 2. So Cam Rodriguez advances on to third. Jones was out there at second base. So 2 down here in the inning. Right fielder number 19, Carson Rodriguez, at the plate. The pitch by Anderson. That's going to be fouled back and out of play. 0-1 the count. Anderson gets what he likes here from James. The pitch. Low. Nicely done right there by James to smother that one. So again, the count here at 1-strike. Runners on the corners with 2 away here in the top half of the first. Anderson looking to wiggle out of trouble right here. Here's the 1-1. Line down the third base line, but foul. So again, you have Rodriguez in the hole here. 1-2 strikes. You got to make sure this is a good pitcher's pitch. You got to make it appetizing enough to where it'll swing, but also to where you can find a way to get him out. And that's exactly what Anderson will do. No, he will not. They say that was fouled off. So Rodriguez will battle in the at-bat right here. It's still 1-2 strikes. The pitch. Gets him swinging this time for strike 3. And that will do it here for the visiting half of the first inning. A pair of strikeouts here for Anderson. Slams the door shut here on the Richmond visiting half as they get no runs here on a pair of hits. Also no errors and 2 runners left on base. We'll head here to the home half, the first here from Coach Brian J. Dudley Field here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. right, folks, again, welcome back here with our Alfred Rods and Customs game break. As we head here to the home half of the first inning, again, we'll take a look here at tonight's East Jackson Auto Sales defensive alignment here for the Richmond Red Devils. So this is what things look like here for Richmond here tonight. Again, over in left field, DeLucio. In center's Roman. Over in right is Carson Rodriguez. And then at third base, we have number 1, Day. At shortstop, Weston Jones. At second base, Rodriguez. And then at first base, Burdette, with the battery mates here in Tyrell Brown towing the rubber here tonight for Richmond. And again, hanging the signs will be none other than Aiden Andreessen. So again, that is tonight's East Jackson Auto Sales defensive alignment here for the Richmond Red Devils here tonight. The Raiders look to get things going here with the bats here. Hayden James to lead things off here this evening. So he will step in here and look to get the boomsticks a-rolling here in the right direction tonight. The pitch, that's going to be up and out of the zone for a ball. 1-0 the count here on Hayden James, here in his junior season. Had another very productive year last year. Brown gets the signs. Here's the pitch. That's going to be fouled off to even a count here at a ball and a strike. Again, 1 through 3 here in this home half the first. Again, Hayden James. And then Eli Andrews, again, manning the center field position now this season. And then Quentin James, catcher here for your Raiders. Here's the 1-1. That one again fouled off. So the count now at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Got to battle and protect here with 2. Find a way to put the ball in play and find some open real estate out there. Here's a 1-2 pitch. That's going to fall low and away for ball 2. Brown gets a little ground ball here to the shortstop. Throws on to first. Nice pick and stretch right there by the first baseman for out number 1 here in the inning. 6-3 put away for out number 1.
The center fielder, number 20, Eli Andrews.
So Eli Andrews will step in. Had a fantastic junior season. Before then, he hadn't played since 8th grade, and you couldn't tell. I mean, this kid, just an athletic young man. So time has been taken here by Andrews. He'll step back in. Looking to make some thunder right here. Here's the pitch. It's going to be low and inside for ball 1. Brown takes a long look in there. Here's the 1-0. That misses well inside for ball 2. So 2-0 the count. The windup, the pitch. Misses low for ball 3. So a great spot to be in right here for Eli. I would doubt that they gave him the green light right here. But again, a great position to be in here if you're Andrews. The pitch, that will be in there for a called strike. So now you're ready. Anything good, you're taking a good old hearty look at it right here. 3 balls and a strike. The pitch from Brown. And that's going to be a deep fly ball there in the right center field and off the base of the wall. Andrews will make his way to second base. He'll make the turn. The throw to third will not be in time, and that will be a one-out triple for Eli Andrews. Heck yes.
Now batting, the catcher, number 5, Quentin.
So a fine piece of hitting right there from Eli. Puts a runner in scoring position. And now we've got the catcher, number 5, Quentin James, standing in at home plate. One of the team leaders in RBIs last year. A great position to be in right here, right now, with Quentin stepping in at the plate. The pitch from Brown. Ground ball there to the first base side. That will get foul. So nothing in one here on Quentin James. And that will be sent down the left field line and caught by the left fielder near the warning track. And that will be a sacrifice fly RBI for Quentin James. And that will get the Raiders on the board here for the first time here in this 2026 season.
Now batting, the first baseman, number 10, Mason Purdue.
So a 2 down now in the inning, and a run come on home to score there with Andrews. That will bring to the plate the first baseman, number 10, Mason Purdue. As that pitch will sail high and outside there for ball 1. Again, Mason last year primarily either pitched or DH'd. Obviously, Clay Estep was a first baseman last year. He graduated. Now you got a new first baseman, and he's looking to wreak havoc right here. Again, with 2 down here in the inning, 1 ball, 1 strike to count. So 1 and 2 here on Purdue, with Brant Longfellow waiting on deck. Brown looking to get out of the inning with only 1 run crossing the plate. Here's the 1-2 offering. That's going to miss for ball 2. That one fouled off back behind home plate. So the count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and nobody on. Brown once again getting the signs here from Andreessen. Here's the pitch. That's going to sail just a touch wide. Again, just kind of lost the handling there on the baseball on that pitch. So that sets it up here. Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. The payoff delivery. That's once again fouled back, and we're going to redo it again here at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Again, this will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat right here. And Brown really taking his time right here. Holy Moses. So again, Purdue will step out, step back in. Payoff pitch once more. And we're going to do it again. So Kaysen keeps battling right here, trying to find his way aboard. So Purdue steps back in. Brown once again taking a good, hard, long look in there. Gets what he likes, the payoff. And another one fouled back to the backstop. Pitch number 9 of the AB coming up. And he will work a walk, a great at bat right there by the first baseman, Kaysen Purdue. So he's down at first.
Now batting, the third baseman,
And now that's going to bring up the third baseman, number 11, Brant Longfellow. Again with a man on. Still 2 away here in the inning. They got a great at bat there from Purdue. Gets the Raiders another base runner. With some pretty good speed out there. And that pitch will catch the outside corner. 0-1 the count. Brant here in his senior season. Looking to have another impactful year to wrap up his high school career. Brown will come to the set. And the 0-1 will be in there for a called strike 2. So again, battle and protect here with 2 strikes. Shorten up and find a way to put the ball in place somewhere, and hopefully he'll get through. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Low and away. The throw down to second will not be in time. So Purdue will be in there with a stolen base. As now Brant has a runner in scoring position to hopefully knock home right here with a base hit. So the count here at 1-2. Let's see if walks come back to haunt Brown. Here's the pitch. That's going to be low for ball 2. Again, so important right here. Anything close, we've got to take a good hack at it here and find a way to put the ball in play. Try to make something happen. Right side of the infield is wide open. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and that will do it here for the home half, the first inning. The Raiders do score a run, though. 1 run here on 1 hit, as well as 1 base runner left on base. After 1 inning of play, it is Wapahani 1, Richmond 0. Here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. Back here with our Alfred Rods and Customs game break. Again, 1-0 your score here after 1 inning of play from beautiful Coach Brian J. Dudley Field. Again, Kyle Anderson looking to toe the rubber here for his 2nd inning of work here this evening. Again, allowed a couple hits there in the visiting half of the first inning. Again, nothing really to a hard hit. Again, the base hit there in the left field was decently well struck, but then again, the ball hit off of Longfellow's glove. Again, tried to get to it. It was just barely out of his reach. So looking for a great inning of work here from Anderson here in inning number 2, as we'll lead things off here with the first baseman, number 13, Jay Burdett. He'll step in here again. 6, 7, 8 hitters due up here in the visiting half the second inning for the Red Devils. So that will catch the inside part of the plate. 0-1 the count here on Burdett. Again, big thanks again to our umpires here this evening. I know I mentioned them earlier, but sure do appreciate these guys for being here against Scott Linton. They're down or out there in the field, and then behind home plate we have Tanner Hoots. Appreciate both of those guys for being here. So 0-2 the count. Actually, correction. That is 2-1 now. So the count here at 2 balls and 2 strikes here on Burdett. Anderson with a windup and a pitch. Skied back and out of play. So we will redo it again here at 2-2. And Anderson there with a couple of strikeouts there in the first inning. Both of them swinging. The pitch. Ground ball, third base side. Nice play there by Brandt. Nicely done. 5-3 put away. That was a heck of a snag there by Brandt Longfellow for out number 1 of the inning.
Now batting the catcher, number 18, Aiden Anderson.
So after the first out of the inning, we'll have the catcher, number 18, so we have Aiden Andresen at the plates. Fouled back and out of play. So we have 0-2 the counts. The pitch. Ground ball, and that's going to get through the right side of the infield. So, again, kind of some tough luck here from for Anderson's standpoint. He's allowed 3 hits in the ball game, and 2 of those have already, 2 have gotten out of the infield, and 1 kind of stuck around right there near third base. So 1 on, 1 out now with the number 8 hitter, the left fielder Jariah DeLucio at the plate. That one popped up in a shallow right field. Lewis is there, and he will make the catch for out number 2 here in the inning. So third baseman Corey Day now at the plate. 2 away here in the inning. Anderson will come to the set. And the pitch. That will miss upstairs for ball 1. And Day, the number 9 hitter in the order. You'd like to keep it at this right here, get out of the inning, and get your guys back in there to hit. And right into the glove right there. A couple of great defensive plays here from Brent Longfellow here in this top half of the second inning, as Richmond does get a base runner on a hit. So no runs on 1 hit, also no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We'll head to the bottom half of the second. Again from Coach Brian J. Dudley Field, 1-0 after an inning and a half. Bottom half of the second inning upcoming here from the WHS Network. Again, if you're just tuning in here for the first time this evening, we want to say welcome and thank you for choosing to spend your evening here with us on the WHS Network here this evening for tonight's opening night of the 2026 Indiana High School Boys baseball season. Again, Wapahani leads it 1-0 after an inning and a half. Again, I was talking to Redbeard, cameraman right here. We was talking about the weather right here during the half inning, and looks like we are expecting potential rain showers here within the next 15 to 20 minutes. Hopefully that doesn't come to fruition, but it doesn't look too promising, I'll tell you that much. So we'll wait and see what happens, but we're ready for this bottom half of the second inning, and we will lead things off here with the left fielder, number 16, Ethan Bragg, at the plate. And that's laced down the third baseline foul. So 0-1 the count here on Ethan Bragg. The pitch swung on and missed, strike two. Brown gets the signs. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's going to fall low and away for ball number one. And following Bragg, we'll have designated hitter Gabe Lappin, and then the right fielder, number 9, Caleb Lewis. So again, 6, 7, 8 hitters due up here in the home half of the second inning. Okay, 1 ball, 2 strikes the pitch, and that will miss low for ball 2. So again, Ethan trying to battle right here, and he's trying to win this battle here in this at bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes to lead off this second inning. The pitch, and that's going to be skied up in a shallow center field. The center fielder comes on, and he will make the catch for out number 1 here of the second inning. So that will bring up the designated hitter, number 22, Gabe Lappin. Brown gets the signs. The pitch blown away for ball 1. That will miss the inside part of the plate. So 2 balls and no strikes here on Lappin. Again, a great hitter's count right here. And a ground ball to the shortstop, and that will be misplayed. So Lappin will reach first on the error by the shortstop. E6. The official scoring.
Now batting, right fielder number 9, Caleb Lewis.
So Lappin down at first, and we'll have the right fielder number 9, Caleb Lewis, at the plate here for his first plate appearance of the season. Looking to do some damage right here, right now, and put another crooked number up on the scoreboard here for Wapahani. The pitch, that will be in there for a called strike, 0-1 here on Lewis. Again, following Caleb, we'll have the second baseman, Jarek Longfellow. Pickoff throw. Lappin is back in there safely at first base. So again, the count still at no balls and a strike. 1 on and 1 out. The pitch from Brown. That will miss low. Lappin will take off for second base. And the throw will be in time, they say. So he was gunned down out there. That will be a base runner erased. So with 2 down, Caleb Lewis right here looking to find a way aboard to, again, jumpstart this offense. After Lappin being cut down, now in there for a called strike, 1 and 2. One ball, 2 strikes, the pitch in there for a called strike 3, and that will do it here for this home half of the second inning. So no runs, no hits, no errors, no runs, no hits, 1 error, and nobody left on. We will head to the top half, the third. Wapahani 1, Richmond 0. You're on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. All right, folks, welcome back here with the top half of the third inning again from Coach Brian J. Dudley Field here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. Back to the top of the order here for Richmond. We're going to lead things off here with the center fielder, number 4, Darwin Roman. So that will miss for a ball, 1-0 the count here on Roman. He struck out swinging to begin the ball game. So 2-0 the count. Here's the pitch. That will miss low for ball 3. So Anderson's got to find his way all the way back here in this at bat as the rain is starting to come down out here a little bit. And that will miss, I'm assuming, low because that looked like it was right on top of the plate. So a 4-pitch walk to the leadoff man, center fielder Darwin Roman. So he's down at first. Second base, number 16, Cam Rodriguez at the plate. So ideally, Anderson looking for a 2-for-1 deal, meaning roll up a double play or maybe a line out to the first baseman. He can tag either the runner or step on first, one of the two. But either way, you're looking for a double play or just at least an out at the bare minimum. Anderson comes to the set. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 1. And Cam Rodriguez there in his first plate appearance. Singled there in the first inning and then was left stranded at third. Anderson pick off back to first as Roman is back in there safely once again. So 0-1 the count on Cam Rodriguez. Anderson takes a look in there to James, gets the signs. And another pickoff back in there is Roman safely at first. No balls and a strike. The pitch. A little dribbler right there at home plate, but that will stay foul. So 0-2 the count on Rodriguez. And once again, Anderson, great opportunity to put him away right here. Good pitcher's pitch. Something out of the zone, but something appetizing for him to swing at. That pitch will be fouled back to the backstop area. So the count will remain at 0-2. Anderson will come to the set. And the pitch. And a little bloop shot there in the left field. And again, nice piece of hitting right there from Cam Rodriguez. Again, Anderson just kind of left that one over the plate, and Rodriguez deposited that one there in the left field.
The shortstop, number 7, Weston Jones.
So 4th hit of the day here for the Red Devils. And Richmond's got something cooking here in this top half of the 3rd inning with the first 2 runners reaching base. Weston Jones now at the plate, the shortstop, number 7 here for the Red Devils. Anderson, the pitch. That's going to miss outside for ball 1. And Kyle's just got to take a deep breath, 1 pitch at a time. Find a way out of this right here. In there for a called strike. And Kyle's definitely he definitely has the stuff to get guys out and get some of the very best out. And a throw to third, and safe is the call. Again, had that been a good throw and not in the dirt right there, probably would have had him. But again, I'm not quite sure if there was much communication there either between the infielders and Anderson. I think, it looked like Kyle kind of stepped off late. And, again, kind of had to hurry his throw. And Hayden James unable to even get an out right there. A good stop. Real good stop, and I think there was some indecisiveness there. But end up getting a run scored there on the base hit. Infield single there for Weston Jones. So Belanga at the plate. The pitch swung on and missed. 0-1 the count. Swung on and missed. A throw down to second. Now the throw home will not be in time. So a double steal right there. To be quite honest with you, I cannot remember what that pitch, I don't know if that was a ball or a strike. 0-2 the count. So again now 2-1 is your score. The 0-2 catches the outside corner, and Hoots will pull the old chainsaw right there for strike 3. For out number 1 here in the inning, a much needed out there for Anderson. And the right fielder, number 19, Carson Rodriguez, will step in. Again, two runners have crossed home plate after the RBI single there from from Jones scoring Roman. And then Rodriguez stole home after the double steal. The pitch fouled off there to the backstop. So 0-1 the count. Following Rodriguez, we got Burdett, Jay Burdett. The pitch from Anderson. That's going to miss high and away for ball one. One ball and one strike. Again, Jones out at second. Still only one away here in the inning. The pitch called strike two. Popped up right there in the right center field. Lewis is there to make the catch for out number two here of the inning. So Jay Burdett will now step in with two away.
The first baseman, number 13, Jay Burdett.
And again, a brief pause right here. They're trying to get the attention of a vehicle out in left field. They have their headlights on. So got them to turn that off. So we resume play. He'll step off. Now we'll have a rundown. Longfellow will tag him out right before the second base bag there for Jones. And so Richmond will run themselves out of the inning, but they score 2 runs here in the visiting half of the second inning as they collect 2 runs on 2 hits. Also no errors and nobody left on. We'll head to the bottom half of the third. Richmond 2, Wapahani 1 here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network.
At Selma, we believe play should include everyone. Inclusion isn't just about being there, it's about being able to join in. Every child deserves to play.
Hi, my name is Katie McDonald, and I'm a board-certified behavior analyst that specializes in children with autism spectrum disorder. By supporting this project, you are helping turn inclusion into action, which will create a space where every child can play, learn, and belong, because access to play should never be a privilege.
I'm Brittany Mills, and I'm a first grade teacher at Selma Elementary. I'm also the parent of a preschooler here at Selma. My daughter Hattie has cerebral palsy and uses a wheelchair. Unfortunately, most playgrounds weren't built for children like Hattie.
This playground isn't just for students with disabilities. It's for siblings, classmates, neighbors, and everyone. A place where kids practice kindness, build friendships, and learn that differences make us stronger.
Every child deserves a place to play, grow, and belong. Help us build a fully inclusive playground where abilities don't limit friendships or fun. Please donate today at patronicity.com/accessforall.
Thank you for helping everyone.
All right, folks, welcome back here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network, as we get geared up here for the bottom half of the third inning. As that pitch will miss outside. Again, we have the number 9 hitter in the order. That is number 3, Jarek Longfellow, leading things off. 9, 1, and 2 hitters due up here in the home half of third. That pitch sails high for ball 2. Obviously, the Raiders with a little bit of work to do right here. They're only down by a run. You know, first game of the season, you know, not trying to make any kind of excuses or anything, but you know, kind of hurt ourselves there a little bit. There with, you know, just a couple of miscues defensively, so on and so forth. But, you know, they had some good timely hitting as well, and they were smart on the base path. So we'll see here how this bottom half of the third goes. And so far, that's a real nice start right there from Longfellow. He'll draw a 4-pitch walk to lead things off here in this bottom of the third inning.
The shortstop, number 4, Hayden James.
So with Longfellow down at first, definitely promising right here as the top half of the order comes up. Hayden James will step in. The pitch from Brown, and called a strike. Again, James showed bunt, brought the bat back in plenty enough time, but again, the pitch caught the corner right there, so nothing and 1 the count here on Hayden. 0 for 1 here on the evening so far. Grounded out to the shortstop back in the first inning. Shows bunt again, the third baseman coming in, and again, the pitcher will step off right here just to see if there was, per se, anything on and see if he could get Longfellow snoozing over there at first. The pitch, a little dribbler right in front of home plate. The throw down to first will be in time. But I'll tell you what, a swing and bunt still works. It's all productive. Moves the base runner up. Now from first to second base, 1 away now in the inning. So 2 to 3 put away. Jarek Longfellow at second, and the center fielder, number 20, Eli Andrews, at the plate. He drove one to deep right center field his first time up. Had a 1-out triple. Here's the pitch, and that one fouled back to the backstop, 0-1. So again, a really good opportunity right here for Andrews and the Raiders in general to try to even this one up here with Jarek Longfellow out there in scoring position. The pitch in there for a called strike, too. That had some darn good movement. But, again, there for Eli's standpoint, he just kind of waits back a little bit longer. That was right in the heart of the plate. He could have done something good with that one. Here's the 0-2. That's going to miss low for ball 1. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, and 1 on. Brown with a pitch. And that will be skied out of play to the left side. So we're going to redo it again here to Eli Andrews at 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2 offering. That's going to miss inside and get by the catcher. So a wild pitch will now advance Longfellow to third base. This gets him 90 feet closer. So now the count here at 2-2. Again, Quentin James waiting on deck. Andrews looking to come through here for the Raiders. Here's the pitch. That's going to miss low for ball 3. So after beginning the at-bat down 0-2, Andrews has worked at full. to 3 balls and 2 strikes as he'll step back in there. Brown back on the rubber, looking in there to his catcher. He'll come to the set. And the payoff pitch. And that's going to be laced there in the left center field and over the left fielder's head and all the way to the wall. Andrews motors in the second base, and that will be an RBI double for one Eli Andrews. Second hit of the day here for Wapahani. Second hit of the day here for Andrews.
Now batting the catcher, number 5, Quentin James.
So again, Longfellow scored right there. Again, credit Eli there with the RBI double. Quentin James will step into play. Eli already halfway to a cycle, and really probably definitely had one of the toughest out of the way there in that first inning there with a triple. And James will call time. And Andrews with real good speed out there at second base. The pitch. And that's going to be a deep fly ball, left center field, and gone! Quentin James with a 2-run homer, and that will put the Raiders on top 4-2. Oh, heck yes! So James will get celebrated there by his teammates, and tell you what, came at a great time right there. Nothing like a opening night homer there from James. So now the first baseman, number 10, Kaysen Purdue at the plate. Drew a walk there in the first inning after a very lengthy at-bat, and that will hit Purdue there on the backside. So he'll make his way down to first base as things are starting to unravel a little bit here for Brown, and now we'll have a coach's visit, better known as a mound visit. And so we'll have Brent Longfellow coming up here in just a brief moment. But again, just a reminder, the Wapahani Lady Raider softball team, they'll open up their season starting on Monday night as they travel to Northeastern, and then their first home game will be then on Tuesday night. Tuesday and Wednesday they will have home games against Hagerstown and Mississinawa. The Hagerstown game starts at 5. The Mississinawa game starts at 5:30. Again, that Monday opening night game at Northeastern will also start at 5:30 as well. So just a couple of opportunities, 3 opportunities. Next week you can watch them. They'll also be on the road on Thursday night at Westdale. So 4 games and 4 nights next week there for the softball team, as Longfellow will ground one there to the third base side, foul nothing, and 1 the count here on Brant Longfellow. So again, Purdue down at first after being hit by the pitch. And that will be skied up there in the left field. Left fielder Cam Saunders, and he will make the catch for out number 2 here of the inning. So with 2 out and 1 on, that will bring up the left fielder, number 16, Ethan Bragg.
Number 16, Ethan Bragg.
Bragg steps in 0 for 1 here on the night, flew out to the center fielder back in the second inning. The pitch, that comes back across the plate. 0-1 the count. And again, it's going to be important for these guys to really make sure that they're staying in there, because that, not necessarily saying that I would swing at a curveball on the first pitch, but, you know, if he drops that in there, you know, it's 0. And 2, you've got to be able to stay back, stay within yourself, and still find a way to drive that pitch. So 1-1 the count. Purdue down at first, 2 away. 3 runs have went ahead and come on home to score here in this bottom half, the third. That one laced foul and out of play. So the count stands at 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Deuces are wild. Brown gets the signs. And the 2-2 offering. That's going to fall low and away for ball 3. The pitch. He didn't offer at it. And that will be a 2-out walk. So that will give the Raiders another base runner and put runners now at first and second. Great at bat there from Ethan. So Kaysen Purdue at second, Ethan Bragg at first, and the designated hitter number 22, Gabe Lappin at the plate. Looking to cash in here for the Raiders. And as I've already mentioned, 3 runs have already come on home to score. And the Raiders threaten for more here in this bottom half of the third, as that one will be a called strike, 0-1. Lappin 0 for 1 here on the evening. Reached base on an error by the shortstop in the second inning. The 0-1 from Brown. That's laced there in the right center field. That's going to get down for a hit. Purdue makes that turn, but he will stay put at third base. A strong throw in from right field. And a nice piece of hitting right there from Gabe Lappin. That is now our 3rd hit here of the inning. So again, Lappin down at first, Bragg at second, Purdue at third. And the right fielder, number 9, Caleb Lewis, at the plate. Looking to do some big-time damage here and keep the line moving here for the Raiders. Brown with a windup. Here's the pitch. Low and away for ball 1. Again, this is the 9th batter of the inning. Lewis did go on the swing right there to even it up here at a ball and a strike. Again, this inning started with Jarek Longfellow after reaching base on a 4-pitch walk. And he's in the on-deck circle. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and missed, strike 2. Lewis darn near came out of his spikes right there on that swing. So now, again, just shorten up here with 2 strikes. Again, trying to find some open real estate out there. Brown takes a long look in there. He'll get what he likes. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And that will miss just inside there for ball 2. There's the 2-2 pitch. There's ball 3. And again, right there in a situation like that, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say don't get out of the way, because essentially you do have to offer to get out of the way. But you also don't want to necessarily get hit in the dome either. And that was headhunting on that off-speed pitch. Not on purpose, obviously. But we have a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, runners on the move. And that is strike 3, looking to end the inning. So that will do it here for the home half of the third. But the Raiders put 3 runs up on the board. 3 runs here on 3 hits. Also 1 error and 3 runners left on base. We will head here to the top of the 4th inning. Wapahani 4, Richmond 2. Here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network.
Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Welcome back in here, baseball fans, with our Alfred Rods and Customs game break. Again, 4-2 is your score. Here as we head here to the top half of the fourth inning. We get a big thanks here to Alfred Rods and Customs with over 30 years of experience. They sell the baddest hot rods, street rods, muscle cars, and customs in the land. And they also buy, sell, and trade cars all over the country. For more information, give them a call at 765-717-3625 and look them up on Facebook at Alfred Rods and Customs. Also, you can come check out their showroom at 613 East Weiser Street in Muncie, Indiana, and let them make your dream a reality. So to the top of the fourth we go. Again here from Coach Brian J. Dudley Field. Been a great evening here so far. Again, we did have a brief rain shower, but thankfully those clouds have subsided, and we're right back to baseball again with beautiful sunshine. Luckily, the rain didn't have any kind of effect on the game here as well this evening, at least to this point. Hopefully it stays that way. So 1-0 the count here on the first baseman, Jay Burdett. Again, he was batting there in that top of the third inning when the base runner, Weston Jones, was caught stealing. Got in a run down and then was tagged out by Brant Longfellow. The 2-0 pitch. Ground ball here to Longfellow. Brant will throw on the first. 5-3 put away for out number one here in the inning. Great job there by Anderson. Again, pitching the contact right here. And really, in all honesty, really most of the contact that Richmond has had, it hasn't been necessarily hard contact. There's been a couple of pretty decently hard hit balls, not screaming line drives per se, but it just goes to show that yet again, you don't necessarily have to hit the ball hard. You've just got to hit the ball where they're not. And so far, Richmond's been able to do that very, very well here throughout the evening to put 2 runs up on the board. So 0-1 the count here on Andresen. The 0-2 pitch popped up in the infield, and the catcher, Quentin James, will call everybody off, and he'll take it there for out number 2. So the left fielder, number 12, Jariah DeLucio at the plate. 0 for 1 here on the night, flew out to the right fielder in the second inning. I'll tell you what, this would be big time right here if Anderson can find a way to have a good, quick inning right here, especially after how the first inning kind of went there initially, and obviously a little bit of an extended third inning as well. But try to have a good, quick inning and work right here, get back in there and get your guys in there to hit the pitch. Little dribbler right in front of the plate, but that hit off of the batter right there, and he was still standing in the batter's box. So a dead ball makes it now 0-2 the count. Anderson will come to the set. The 0-2 offering. Swung on and missed strike 3. And that will end the inning here in the top of the fourth inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left. Here as we head to the bottom half of the fourth here from Coach Brian J. Dudley Field. Wapahani 4, Richmond 2 here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network.
Hi, I'm Austin Rich with Next Home Elite Real Estate. Our company's mantra has been and will always be humans over houses. For the last several years, we have been able to help people follow our mission statement, which is enriching lives by helping people find their next home. Next Home Elite Real Estate has premier real estate agents ready to assist you with commercial properties, new construction, residential homes, or investment properties, no matter if you are looking to purchase or to sell. We are skilled negotiators, tenacious marketers, and fearless advocates for our clients. We want them to feel the passion we have for what we do and the professionalism we exemplify while we do it. Our clients depend on us to have grit and determination when we represent them. We roll up our sleeves and get to work. Every interaction, every time.
Hi, I'm Tara.
Hi, I'm Michelle.
Hi, I'm Kathy.
Hi, I'm Seth.
Hi, I'm Lindsay.
Hi, I'm Courtney.
We stand for doing the right thing, even when it's not convenient. We deliver integrity in all we do through our uncompromising ethical principles and values. Our clients count on us not to only help them buy or sell their home, but to make sure the process is infused with joy. We strive to bring a smile to their faces as they enter the next phase of their lives. Call Next Home Elite Real Estate today. We are here to help you.
All right, welcome back again here with our Alfred Ronson Customs game break. 4-2 as we head here to the home half, the fourth inning. The Richmond Red Devils do have a new pitcher on the mound here this evening. That is number 24, Jamison Hall, towing the rubbers. So Tyrell Brown, his night is over with after 3 innings. Again, surrendered 4 runs. All 4, or actually, 2 of those would have been earned. Here's the pitch. That's going to be fouled off there to the right side. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Longfellow again led off that bottom half the third inning with a 4-pitch walk. And right there, he fouled that one off his foot. So that one didn't feel too good. So he'll shake that one off. With a count now at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, 9-1 and 2 hitters due up here in the home half, the 4th inning. Again, tonight's game presented here by Sam Pierce Chevrolet. Again, the best deals are in the country. 1 ball, 2 strike the count here on Longfellow. The pitch will miss outside for ball 2. So we'll even the count. The 2-2. That's going to be upstairs for ball 3. So Jarek's had a good at-bat right here. Really be nice to top it off with find a way to get on base. And he will do so as that pitch was skipped in at home plate. So another walk here to Jarek Longfellow. He's down at first to lead off the bottom half, the 4th. And here to the top of the order we go here with number 4, Hayden James. I know Hayden's got to be chomping at the bit right now. Again, first 2 at-bats haven't quite went his way. Grounded out to the shortstop back in the first. And then hit a little dribbler, a little bunt, or swinging bunt there in the 3rd inning. It was productive, though. You know, I mean, that's what you want. Swung on and missed. So nothing into the count. By the way, I was going back over some of the scoring so far here tonight. I was incorrect in the scoring line there for Tyrell Brown there of Richmond as far as his final line. Again, all 4 runs were earned. Again, there was only that one error. That was in the second inning, but the Raiders did not score in that inning, and there was not an error in that third inning as well. So, again, all 4 runs have been charged there to Brown. Again, just want to make sure and make that correction. I had it right in the book. I just didn't say it correctly. So, nonetheless, ball and 2 strikes. The pitch. He didn't go. Nope. Now 2-2. Again, Jarek Longfellow down at first. Nobody out. Great opportunity again here for Wapahani. Let's see if the Raiders can cash in. The pitch. That's going to be called strike 3 on James for out number 1 here in the inning. So Hayden will go down looking.
Now batting the center fielder, number 20, Eli Andrews.
So Eli Andrews now at the plate, 2 for 2 days so far. Tripled there in the first inning and scored a run. And then a double there in the second inning that plated, or not in the second inning, excuse me, the third inning, to end up plating a run right there in Longfellow. The pitch, ground ball through the right side of the infield. And they're going to hold Longfellow there at second. So, hey, Eli is 3/4 the way there to a cycle. Triple, double, single. Now he just needs a home run. And believe me, he has the power to do it. We've seen that last year. So a great opportunity right here now. 2 runners aboard. Quentin James will now step in. Again, good speed on the base pass. James had a 2-run homer there in the third inning. Sent one over the 345 sign there in left center. The pitch popped up, shallow right center, and the right fielder is able to make the catch. He had to come a long way for that one. So 2 down now in the inning. And now batting will be the first baseman, number 10, Kason Purdue. Purdue here on the night is technically not an official at bat. He's had 2 plate appearances. He's walked there in the first inning and then was hit by a pitch there in the third. And a couple of ducks on the pond, as they say, out there. 1 in scoring position, then 1 down there at first base as that pitch fouled off down the third base line. 0-1 the count here on Purdue. And he's a cleanup hitter for a reason. So great opportunity right here to cash in. Wapahani on top, 4-2, looking to make it more right here. The pitch from Hall in there for a called strike, 0-2 the count. There's the windup and the pitch. That's going to miss outside for ball 1. Tell you what, not a bad location, though, on that pitch. Didn't make it a little appetizing, but Purdue did not take the bait. That will miss low and away. And we'll even the count up here at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, deuces are wild. 2 out. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2-1. Hall will come to the set. And the pitch. That's strike 3, looking for the third out here in the inning. So the Raiders, again, got a couple of base runners there after the leadoff walk there to Jarek Longfellow. And then the single from Eli Andrews, but nothing will come of it. Here in the home half, the fourth inning, no runs, hits, also no errors, and 2 left on. We will head to the top half, the fifth inning, Wapahani 4, Richmond 2, here on the WHS Network.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
Top half the fifth inning here from Coach Brian J. Dudley Field. 4-2's your score here as we head to the visiting half of the fifth. And we're going to lead things off here with the number 9 hitter in the order here for Richmond. Number 1, the third baseman, Corey Day. 9-1 and 2 hitters due up here for the Red Devils. And Anderson with the first pitch out right there as Day will line that one out there to the first baseman, Purdue, for, like I said, 1 pitch, 1 out. So back to the top of the order here, Darwin Roman at the plate. Roman here on the day is 0 for 1, struck out swinging back in the first inning, and then drew a walk and scored a run in the third. So 1-0 the count here on Roman. Anderson gets what he likes here from James, and the pitch. And a little dribbler fouled off. It's going to even the count here at the ball and the strike. And Cam Rodriguez on deck. He's 2 for 2 so far here on the evening. Here's the 1-1 from Anderson. In there for strike 2. Catches the outside corner. Anderson painting that black. And here's the 1-2. That's going to be lined foul and out of play. So the count will stay put here to ball and 2 strikes. And as I mentioned earlier, great crowd out here this evening. It's nice to see the support for both of these teams here tonight. The parking lot is full, and Roman will go down swinging. A throw down to first will be in time. So Anderson will set down Roman here for the second time of the day. So with 2 down, that's going to bring up the second base, number 16, Cam Rodriguez. Again, 5th strikeout now for Kyle Anderson here on the evening. Already in his 5th inning of work, 4 2/3 so far. The pitch to Rodriguez will fall low and inside for ball 1. Again, Rodriguez, as I just mentioned a few moments ago, 2 for 2 here on the day. Singled in the first inning and was left stranded at third, then singled also in the third. And later on scored after a stolen base, as that will be a fly ball in the left field. Bragg is there, and he'll make the catch for the third and final out of the inning. So a couple of back-to-back quick innings here for Kyle Anderson as he really starts to settle in here as after 4.5 innings of play. It is Wapahani 4, Richmond 2. Stick around. We'll be back with more here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network.
The moments we live for, we celebrate, we must protect. This is what the IHSAA Foundation does every day. By providing scholarships to student athletes, developing coaches and athletic directors, recruiting and retaining high school officials, and awarding grants to IHSAA member schools, we can protect the future of high school sports for the next generation of Hoosiers. Will you join us? We need your help on our team. Donate today at ihsaafoundation.org.
Being a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
Bottom half the fifth inning. Again, Wapahani leads it 4-2 here as we enter the home half the fifth. Again, if you're just tuning in here for the first time this evening, once again, we want to say welcome and thank you for spending your Friday evening here with us for opening night 2026. So far, it's turned out to be an absolutely wonderful and beautiful evening here at the ballpark. And just great to be back broadcasting Raider baseball again. Again, we'll have Lady Raider softball coming your way next week. So really looking forward to getting ramped up here with all of our spring sports. And hopefully having a couple of very successful seasons for both baseball and softball. As we'll begin this bottom half of the fifth inning with the third baseman, number 11, Brent Longfellow. As that will be swung on and missed, 0-1 the count. 0 for 2 so far here on the night for Brent. Struck out swinging in the first and flew out to the left fielder in the third. That will be in there for called strike 2. So Brant in a little bit of a bind right here. See if he can find his way out of it. The pitch from Hall. That will miss upstairs. So the count here at 1-2 strikes. Hall once again will come to the set. Here's the 1-2 offering. And that is called strike 3 as Longfellow will go down looking for out number 1 to begin the fifth inning. So now batting the left fielder, number 16, Ethan Bragg. Bragg steps in here, 0 for 1 on the night. He flew out to the center fielder in the second inning and then drew a walk in the third and was left stranded at second. So 1-0 to begin things here on Ethan. In Wapahani so far, 4 runs on 5 hits, no errors. So that'll be swung on and missed. 1-1 strike the count. Richmond here on the flip side. Officially 2 runs on 5 hits and 1 error on the night. 1-1 from Hall. That sails high and away. Two balls and a strike. The pitch outside for ball 3. In a great position to be in right here. If you're Bragg, you got to make sure it's your pitch if you're going to take a good swing at it. Here's the 3-1. And that was a good pitch and a nice piece of hitting right there from Ethan. Nicely done. It's exactly what you should do with that 3-1 pitch. So great execution there from Ethan. 6th hit of the day now for Wapahani. And gives the Raiders another base runner, and that will bring up number 22, Gabe Lappin, designated hitter here for the Raiders. Again, he singled there in the third inning. So far, 1 for 2 on the day. reached base on an error in the second inning. Hall with the pitch. That will miss. Ooh, okay. Never mind. That will, I guess, catch the corner. 0-1. Tossed on to first, not in time, as Bragg will be in there safely. Again, Hall in his second inning of relief. Again, coming on there for Tyrell Brown. He started the day, went 3 innings, gave up 4 runs. That pitch off the glove of the catcher, so Bragg will go ahead and take second base after the pass ball. So 1 ball, 1 strike is the count now on Lappin. So again, great opportunity now. Man in scoring position. Find a way to get it through the right side of the infield right here. Could be looking at a run. Popped up though, and the foul ground there on the first base side. And the first baseman is there to make the catch for out number 2 here in the inning. So a big break there for Hall and the Red Devils. So now we'll have a pinch hitter. Looks like it will be number 13, Colton Lash, at the plate.
Number 13, Colton Lash.
So Lash will step in here, his first plate appearance of the day, obviously, with a man in scoring position right here. 1 ball, no strike. The count here on Lash. Jarek Longfellow on deck. Again, 2 away here in the inning. Hall trying to slam the door shut here in the home half of the 5th. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 1. Pickoff threw back to second. Bragg was in there safely. Here's the 1-1. And that is laced there in the left field, but the left fielder is there to make the catch. That was a well-struck ball right there from Lash. Just unfortunately, the left fielder was able to get there to make the play. So the Raiders, again, threatened here in this bottom half, the 5th inning. They did get a base runner there off the single there from Ethan Bragg, but nothing came of it there. No runs, a hit, no errors, 1 left. We'll head now to the top of the 6th inning here from Coach Brian J. Dudleyfield. 4-2's your score. Wapahani on top. We'll be back with more here on the WHS Network.
2 p.m. Saturday afternoon. You have 2 choices. Option 1, take 2 nanoseconds to reach over and put on your seatbelt. Or option 2, decide it's too much work for a Saturday and don't put on your seatbelt. As the seatbelt alarm continues to sing the song of its people, you roll your eyes. You're just going down the block, you'll be fine. You take a turn to the left and that's when you see it.
Just wear your seatbelt. It's an easy way to save your own life. The Indiana Criminal Justice Institute wants to remind you that choices matter. Click it to live.
All right, folks, again, welcome back here on the WHS Network. We would like to take some time here this evening, as always, to thank some of our sponsors here this evening. We'd like to send out a big thanks here to Next Home Elite Real Estate hometown realtor Courtney Felton. Great teams win with heart, hustle, communication, and trust. And those are some great values that Next Home Elite Real Estate hometown realtor Courtney Felton brings to every real estate move. Whether you're buying or selling, she is there to use her local roots to meet your real estate needs every step of the way. Call Courtney Felton at 765-748-6334 for all of your real estate needs. So as we get back to baseball here, again, top of the 6th inning, Wapahani leads at 4-2. Again, Kyle Anderson Now, again, on in the 6th inning of work, and that will be dumped there in the right field. There by number 7, Weston Jones, to lead off the 6th. 6th hit of the night now for Richmond. Also the 3rd hit of the day here for Weston Jones. So that is a job well done there by the young man. So now we'll have the designated hitter Logan Belenga. So 1-0 the count. Anderson will come to the set. And a 1-0. And that's going to be laced right back up the middle. So the first 2 hitters aboard. Back-to-back hits to open up this top of the 6th inning for the Red Devils.
Now batting number 19, Carson Rodriguez.
So Jones at second, Belenga at first. And the right fielder, number 19, Carson Rodriguez, now at the plate. Rodriguez on the day, 0 for 2, struck out swinging in the first. And then flew out to the right fielder in the 3rd inning. Again, ideally here for Anderson, you just got to find a way to get an out right here. It'd be even better, yet again, if you can roll up a twin killing right here, better known as a double play. So 0-1 the count here on Carson Rodriguez. Following him will be the first baseman, Jay Burdett. Anderson, the pitch. Ground ball here to the shortstop. 6 on the 5. Force out there at third base there by Hayden James to Brant Longfellow. So a good idea right there. Again, still have the double play in order. You can get out of the inning right here, no problem. So again, 1 down now. Belenga at second. Rodriguez at first. Burdett at the plate. The pitch from Anderson. That will miss outside, 1-0. The 1-0 offering here from Anderson. And James will not have an opportunity at one right there. Again, the ball didn't necessarily scatter too far away. There's just a good read there by the base runners. You know, sometimes you just got to give credit where credit's due. I mean, granted, you know, that was probably a good, 9-10 feet away. Ground ball. Oh, my. I'm a little surprised that they didn't come home with that one. And they say that he dropped the ball on the transfer. So they do record the out number 2 now. But again, a run does come on home to score to make this a 4-3 ball game.
Now batting, the catcher, number 18, Aiden Anderson.
And a ground ball. Going to be a tough play. Hayden James on the first. No. Pulls the first baseman, Purdue, off the bag. And that will play another run to now even it up at 4 after the throwing error there from Hayden James. So Andreessen right there will get a courtesy runner. Now number 11. And that will be Dom McKinley now as the courtesy runner at first base. So in there for a called strike. DeLucio here at the plate, 0 for 2 on today, flew out to the right fielder and struck out. The pitch from Anderson, that will sail high for ball 1. So the count now stands at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, yet again, Richmond, they put the ball in play, got a couple of leadoff base hits. Again, just some tough luck here for Anderson here today. That's really been kind of the story of things for him. Again, the 4 runs that's been given up. 3 of those have been earned. It's tough, Really not much he can do about it. Really pretty effective pitches. Just Richmond doing a good job putting the ball in play, spraying the ball all over the parts of the field. And so, again, you got to tip your cap to them. 2-2 the count. The pitch. Strike 3, pull a chainsaw. He gone down on strikes. And that will end the top half of the 6th inning. But Richmond scores a couple times here in this 6th inning. 2 runs here on 2 hits, an error, and 1 runner left on base. We'll head to the bottom half of the 6th, tied at 4 here on the WHS Network. Welcome back in here, ladies and gentlemen, with our Alfred Rods and Customs game break. We're tied at 4 here as we enter the home half of the 6th inning. Again, 9-1 and 2 hitters due up here for Wapahani, starting with Jarek Longfellow. Again, he's had a real nice day so far here at the plate. Been on base a couple of times, both via the walk. And so looking for his first hit of the day, or he'll go ahead and take another walk again. Or, be hit by a pitch, whatever it takes to get him on base. That's all that matters, right? So 1-0 the count to begin things here on Jarek. Hall again in his 3rd inning of work. Bounces that one in there for ball 2. Two balls, no strikes. Again, a great opportunity here for Longfellow. And he will come up empty this time around. So 2-1 the count. Hall will come to the set. Here's the 2-1. Ground ball, second base side. Misplays it. And he will be on down there at first base after an error there by the second baseman. Second error of the day here for the Red Devils. So E4, the official scoring on that play right there. Hayden James will step in. 0 for 3 evening so far. Grounded out there to the shortstop in the first inning. Then grounded out there, a little dribbler there at home plate in the third, and then struck out looking there in the fourth. Gets the bunt down right back to the pitcher, but a throw on the first will be in time. A job well done there by Hayden James. A productive out. Did what was asked of him. That's a job well done. Nicely, another well-placed ball there from Hayden.
The center fielder, number 20, Eli Andrews.
So Jarek at second base. You got Eli Andrews at the plate, a home run shy of a cycle. And that's in there for a called strike. Again, main thing is you're just looking to put a run up on the board. You know, individual things, you know, that kind of takes care of itself. You're not necessarily worried about that, but you know, you're just looking to find a way to put another run up on the board here if you're the Raiders. Here's the pitch. That will miss outside, ball one. And a triple, a double, and a single. Couple runs scored and an RBI so far here for Andrews on the evening. The pitch. That will miss outside, ball two. Hall will come to the set. The 2-1 offering. That will be fouled back and out of play. So the count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes, even here on Andrews. Longfellow out at second base. He's been on base all 3 times. The 2-2. Fouled that one off his hands right there. Here's the 2-2. Popped up, foul ground, and out of play. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 looking on Andrews for out number 2 here in the inning. So a very big out there for Hall. And a very big out there for the Red Devils in general. So 2 down now in the inning. And the catcher, number 5, Quentin James at the plate. And I got to be honest with you, I'm a little surprised that they just don't go ahead and walk James. That's just a little bit outside. So nothing in 1-0 the count here on James. The pitch. That will miss low and inside for ball 2. And you got Case and Purdue on deck. Obviously he knows how to handle the bat as well. And upstairs for ball 3. So we'll see right here. Do you green light him? You need a run. We'll see. Here's the pitch. And they do. And laces one in the right center field. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Longfellow will easily score. James around second, heading to third. And the throw will not even be in time. And that is an RBI triple for Quentin James. Heck yes. 5-4, Wapahani leads it. 7th hit of the day now for Wapahani. That is also the 2nd hit here for Quentin James. Collects his 3rd RBI. And again, you almost do kind of wonder, would it have been smarter just to go ahead and walk him right there? Instead, he grooved one in there, and James made him pay for it. That pitch high and inside. That pitch fouled off, 1-1 the count here on Kaysen Purdue. Purdue's been on base twice today so far. Drew a walk in the first. Was hit by a pitch in the 3rd inning. He also stole a base there in the first. And then he struck out looking back in the 4th inning. So again, 1 ball, 1 strike. James down at 3rd. Again, a great opportunity right here. You find a way to get another base hit, score another run. It gives you a little bit more cushion heading into the top of the 7th inning. The 1-1 will miss low and away for ball 2. Another one, same exact spot. So a very favorable count right here for Kaysen. 3 balls and a strike. Again, you've got to be looking for something out over the plate to hit. If not, might as well go ahead and steer away from trying to swing at it. Here's the pitch. Left one right over the heart of the plate right there and fouls that one off now. 3-2 the count. And we have Brant Longfellow on deck. And the count's full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 1 on. Quentin James down at 3rd after the RBI triple to put the Raiders on top by 1. And that one fouled off down the 3rd base line as head coach Heath Dudley trying to show off his mad hops down there. Nearly snagged that one. And that will be a walk here to Purdue. So another great at bat here for Kaysen. He's now on for the 3rd time today. 2nd walk. So we'll have a mound visit. And it looks like we'll have a pitching change.
Now ready for Wapahani will be number 12, Alex Hensinger.
So we will have a courtesy runner also down at 2nd base here down at 1st base. Here is number 12, Alex Huntzinger, will be the courtesy runner. So again, a new pitcher on for the Red Devils. Again, we'll come back here in just a few moments. A pitching change here for Richmond. Runners on the corners with 2 away. 1 has come on home to score. 5-4 Raiders. We'll be back right after these messages. right, welcome back. And following the pitching change here for Richmond, new pitcher on here for the Red Devils is number 8, Malachi Morgan, coming on in relief there for Jamison Hogg, and went 2 2/3 innings pitched. Again, both base runners, again, if they was to come on home to score, will be charged there to Hall. So Brant Longfellow at the plate. Alex Huntsinger will go ahead and take second base there on the stolen base. So 1-0 the count. So now, again, a base hit. Potentially could score 2 right here. Huntsinger's got some good speed out there. So I would definitely tread in the direction there of definitely score 2 for sure with a base hit. That will be in there for a called strike. Here's the 1-1 offering. Swung on and missed, strike 2. Moore looks in there to his catcher. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Shorten up, put the ball in play here for Longfellow, and that will miss inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, 0 for 3 days so far for Brant. He's had a couple very nice defensive plays down there at third base. And he's looking to wreak havoc right here, right now, and put the Raiders up by more. The 2-2 offering. That's going to be low for ball 3. So we've worked the count to full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. You have Ethan Bragg waiting on deck for Wapahani. If we end up getting that far, hopefully we do. Moore will come to the set. And the payoff pitch. And Longfellow will foul that one back to the backstop area. So you're going to brief pause right here. As pitcher Moore will gather himself here a little bit. Again, full count again, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Huntsinger off second. James off of third base rather. The pitch misses low and inside, and that will be a walk here to Brant Longfellow. So a great job right there. Again, had a 1 ball, 2 strike count on him and was able to work it full and then work a walk to load the bases here for the left fielder, number 16, Ethan Bragg. So again, James at third, Huntsinger second, Brant Longfellow at first. Bragg at the plate, looking to cash in. Flew out to the center fielder in the second. Has also walked and singled in the game here tonight, as that one will be outside for ball 1. Been a really good competitive opening night for this 2026 season. Here's the 1-0. Popped up behind home plate. And the catcher will make the play for the third and final out of the inning. But the Raiders come up with a big-time hit right there from Quentin James, an RBI triple that scored Jarek Longfellow to make this a 5-4 Wapahani lead. As we head to the top of the 7th, Raiders lead it. We'll be back right after these messages here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. All right, baseball fans, again, welcome back here on the WHS Network. Do have a new pitcher on the mound here coming on in relief here of Kyle Anderson. There'll be number 22, Gabe Lappin. So looking for the save right here. Great 6 innings pitched, I think, there for Kyle. Did give up 7 hits, but overall, I really don't think there was a lot of hard contact. In fact, I think most of it was soft contact. But, yet again, Richmond doing what you should do from a hitting standpoint, hitting it exactly where the opponent is not. So not only that, but, good timely hitting as well. But still, very strong outing there for Kyle. First one under the belt, and many more to go. But 5-4 Wapahani lead. Here's we head here to the top of the 7th inning. And we're going to lead things off here at third base, number 1, Corey Day. That was in there for a strike, 0-1. Nice pitch again right there, Lappin. Coming right out of the gate right here, pumping strikes. That's what we like to see. Here's the 0-2. Goodbye. So Day will go down looking for out number 1 here in the inning. And now back to the top of the order. Here for the center fielder, number 4, Darwin Roman. Roman's been on base once so far. Struck out in the first inning. Drew a walk and stole a base, as well as scored a run in the third and struck out in the 5th. Lappin takes a look in there to James. Here's the windup, the pitch. In there for a called strike. 0-1. Ball 1 low and away. I guess there went his immaculate inning right there. Through 4 straight strikes. Here's the pitch. Just misses on the outside corner. Here's the windup and a 2-1. And that will be lined out there in the center field. Another nice piece of hitting here for the Red Devils. 8th hit now of the day. A 1-out single to get the Red Devils a base runner. And now will be the second baseman, number 16, Cam Rodriguez. Cam on the day, 2 for 3. Singled in the first. Singled and stole a couple of bases in the third, and then flew out to the left fielder in the 5th. That pitch will miss low. So 1-0 the count here on Rodriguez. Middle infielders here in Hayden James and Jarek Longfellow in double play depth. Pick off. Back in there safely. Again, there is Darwin Roman. Lappin will come to the set. And the 1-0 popped up, foul ground, and out of play. So that will even things up at 1 ball and 1 strike. That will miss on the outside part of the plate. 2-1 the count here on Rodriguez. Again with Roman at first, 1 away here in the inning. Again, a double play will end it. The pitch. That will miss high for ball 3. Got to take a deep breath right here. Find a way to get a strike over the plate. The pitch. That will be a called strike, too. So he will work it to full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, 1 on. Lappin comes to set. The payoff pitch. That will miss outside for ball 4. So that will now put runners at first and second. Weston Jones at the plate.
The shortstop, number 7, Weston Jones.
Again, Jones has been on quite the hitting spree. 3 for 3 nights so far. Also a stolen base to go along with it. So I'm assuming here Lappin and James going over essentially the game plan here to get Jones out. He has obviously been a tough cookie to solve right here tonight. And one thing you don't want to do is leave one right over the heart of the plate. We've got to find a way to get it out right here, right now. Lappin gets the signs. And a pitch. In there for a called strike, 0-1. Getting good location right there. Finding the outside corner. In the middle infield, keeping the second base runner right there close to the bag. And that's going to get through. Here comes the throw from Andrews. And there will be no throw to home plate. That's going to be an RBI single, and that's going to tie it up here at 5. And again, regularly, that would have been a ground ball double play right there. But again, considering you had a base runner at second base, they're trying to keep him close to the bag. Another perfect example of hitting the ball where they are not. So a job well done. Again, you've got to give credit where credit is due. The pitch swung on and missed here by Belenga. Here's the 0-1. That misses low, and no throw to either base. And both base runners took off just a little too far right there. That will miss, I'm assuming, low. So 2 balls and 1 strike. The pitch from Lappin. That's going to be in the dirt. Throw down to third will not be in time. So both base runners move up 90 feet. And they will go ahead and walk Belenga right here to load the bases. So now you have a force out at home. So you have Rodriguez at third, Jones at second, Belenga at first, and then right fielder number 19, Carson Rodriguez at the plate. That ball low in the dirt, skipped that one to home plate. 1-0 the count. Can come out, very first batter, struck him out on 3 pitches. And really ever since, unfortunately, Gabe has had a little bit of a tough time right here. But again, He's just a ground ball away from finding his way out of it. Again, hopefully that ground ball finds one of our infielders, because that has been one key here tonight. Anderson, same thing. We've gotten the ground balls. It's just been to open parts of our infield. And that is right there, served in the left field. Bragg will not get to that one. 1 run scores, and a second run will score as well. So 10th hit of the day. 3 runs have been plated here in the top of the 7th inning, as Richmond has now taken a 7-5 lead. So we'll have a mound visit. I'm not sure if we're going to have a pitching change quite yet. It looks like that might be the case. And it looks like it might be Kendon Hill. And indeed it will be. So Kendon will be taking, well, nope, rather it will be Hayden James that will be pitching, and Kendon Hill will be playing shortstop. So we'll have we'll have a pitching change right here. We'll talk a little bit more about that here in a few moments, but we'll go ahead and step aside here for a quick break, and we'll be back here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network.
Anna, let's clear the air about vaping. Glue, rat poison, paint. We all know these products contain poisons like formaldehyde, arsenic, and lead. And these are just a few of the chemicals you'll find in e-cigarette vapor. Let's clear the air, Indiana. Don't puff this stuff. Visit don'tpuffthisstuff.com to join the fight and spread the word.
All right, folks, again, welcome back here on the WHS Network. Again, the changes, we have a variety of them here. So, again, Hayden James now on the mound here for the Raiders. At shortstop is Kendon Hill. Over at first base is Gabe Lappin. And then the first baseman, Kason Perdue, moved from first to right. So, again, that is the changes now for the Raiders. Here's the pitch. That's going to be low for ball 2. Again, Burdett 0 for 3 here on the night. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 3. James looks in there to his brother, and time has been taken. 3 balls, no strikes. The pitch in there for a called strike. Here's a 3-1. And that was not contacted there by the batter. So it ends up being, I don't know if the catcher ended up touching that either. Let's call that a wild pitch. And that will be ball 4. Oh, tough way to really end this here tonight. Again, 7th inning. It's been quite the situation here for the Raiders. So we'll have the catcher number 18, Aiden Drayson, at the plate. He's been on base twice today. Singled, popped up to the catcher, and then reached base on an error there in the 6th. So 1-0 the count. Runners on the corners. You're nice to roll up a double play right here to the pitch. That will miss a low and away for ball 2. A 2-0. Swung on and missed. Two balls and 1 strike. Again, 4 runs have scored here in this top half of the 7th inning. Again, Raiders looking for a double play here. Looks like they might have it. 4-6-3, not in time. The ball gets by as well, so another run will score and make this now a 9-5 ball game. Again, that ball was going to be late getting there anyway, so he was going to be safe either way. But we do have a courtesy runner down at first base. So again, Rodriguez does score the RBI there for the catcher. Again, now 2 down here in the inning. 1-0 the count here on Jariah DeLucio. 0 for 3 so far on the night. That will miss for ball 2. And he'll step off right here. Now the throw to first. That will hit the runner. And now he was just tagged out. What in the world just happened right there? All right. Well, that's going to end the inning, folks. Heck of an inning right there. 9-5. 5 runs come on home to score there for Richmond. We'll be back right after these messages. All right, folks, welcome back here. Bottom half of the 7th inning. Going to lead things off here with the first baseman, number 22, Gabe Lappin. Again, Wapahani down by 4. So, obviously, some work to do, and, well, you're running out of outs and daylight to go along with it. Unfortunately, we don't have lights here, so that puts us in a little bit of a situation right here. 2-0 the count. Again, Moore still on in relief for Richmond. That pitch upstairs for ball 3. And ball 4 high, so a 4-pitch walk to Lappin to get this bottom half of the 7th inning underway. And that will bring to the plate number 17, the shortstop, Kendon Hill. And that is in there for a called strike, 0-1 the count. Again, Hill with his first plate appearance here of the night. Moore will come to the set. And now the 0-1 offering. Swung on and missed, strike 2. That pitch will miss low and in. So the count here at 1-2 strikes. Lappin down at first. We got Longfellow, Jarek Longfellow waiting on deck. And then the top of the order, if we can get that far. And that's going to be through the left side of the infield. Nice piece of hitting there from Kendon. So the Raiders are not willing to go away easily here. First 2 runners aboard, or first 2 batters aboard, rather. The single there from Kendon. And now Jarek Longfellow at the plate. He's reached base 3 times here tonight. A couple of walks. Also runs scored and reached base by an error there in the 6th inning. And that will be in there for a called strike, 0-1 here on Jarek. The 0-1 from Moore. Up and out of the zone, says the home plate umpire Tanner Hoots. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1. That is low for ball 2. Can Lappin at second, Hill at first. Jarek Longfellow at the plate. Moore here with the 2-1 offering. That's going to sail high for ball 3. So now the count at 3-1. Very favorable here if you're Longfellow. And again, you've got to make it your pitch in this situation. If it ain't center cut, might as well just go ahead and wait. And, oh, that's going to catch the corner. Okay, so 3-2 the count. Here's the pitch. And that's low for ball 4. So that will load the bases with the top of the order up here at Hayden James. Again, third walk of the day drawn there by Jarek. And looks like now we will have a pitching change. This could get really interesting here. Again, due to the light of the day, or the lack thereof. Again, you know, that's what I was saying just a few moments ago, right before we started this inning. We're running out of outs and running out of daylight. And so this could get interesting here. But we will have a new pitcher on the mound. It will be number 1. That is Corey Day. We'll step aside and we'll be back here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network.
You're good at keeping the car clean. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
All right, folks, welcome back. Again, new pitcher, Corey Day, now towing the rubber here for Richmond. It's Hayden James at the plate, the infield playing in, and that pitch will be low for ball 1. One ball, no strikes, now 2-0 the count. And Wapahani essentially here with their back against the wall, down by 4 runs. They've got a lot of work to do right here, as that will be in there for a called strike. Again, had a 5-4 lead, gave up 5 runs there in the top of the 7th. But the Raiders are looking to make things interesting right here. Again, we've seen it time and time again last year. This is a team that does not quit. They don't give up. We keep going to the last out. Here's the pitch. In there for strike 2. Again, we've got to be ready to swing the bat. A payoff pitch here from Day. And that's going to be a deep drive down the left field line, and not caught. He dropped the ball. It will end up being a fair ball, and 2 runs will score. We couldn't even see it, to be quite honest with you. I seen it, and then next thing you know, you couldn't see it. Once it got down closer towards the fence area, it just kind of blended in with everything. But that will be a 2 RBI single there for Hayden James, and that will now make this a 9-7 ball game with runners still at first and second and nobody out. And now Eli Andrews at the plate. So Andrews again 3 for 4 on the day. He's a home run shy of the cycle. And wouldn't it be nice? Here's the pitch. That's going to be low for ball 1. Again, you're just looking. We've got to at least get 2-3 more runs right here. That's all. That's all we got to do. Swung on and missed. He was swinging for the White River. One ball, 1 strike. Quentin James on deck. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and missed, strike 2. Again, that's the thing about it. I'm not quite sure mindset-wise if he's actually, trying to hit a home run right here. The main thing is you've got to find a way to get on base to extend this ball game. That'll be fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Day will come to the set. The 1-2 popped up, foul ground, and that is going to get out of play. So the count stays put at 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's low for ball 2. Again, you have Jarek Longfellow out at second. Hayden James at first, both with good speed. Ball 3 high. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat right here. And Eli will take a moment right here, gather himself, and get ready for this payoff pitch. Day comes to the set, the payoff. That's outside for ball 4, and that's going to load the bases again. Holy Moses. So now Quentin James at the plate. Longfellow at third, Hayden James at second, Eli Andrews at first, Quentin James at the plate. He has a 2-run homer and also an RBI triple. And that pitch is in there for a strike. That one fouled there to the backstop. 0-2 quickly here on Quentin. And, that looks like that's going to be the ball game. So Richmond will win it. Again, the Raiders had the bases loaded. Nobody out, and they're calling it due to darkness. That's an unfortunate way to end it here tonight. But it is what it is. Can't do anything about it now. So 9-7 is your final score. We'll step aside, and we'll be back here with our Raiders Live postgame show here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. Jackson digs it out. Hunzinger with a setup to Rivers. Rivers delivers. Burger to the corner to Baker on the way from downtown. There's Baker right there with the rainmaker. Drives, finds Camden Bell. Right wing three is up. And good. Yes. Camden Bell making a rain, baby. Harold for battling in this bat so far. The 1-2 pitch. Gets her swinging for strike three. A job well done by Zoe Koger. Getting the strikeout for out 3-1. And that's going to be a deep fly ball in the left center field. And gone! Quentin James with a big fly of his own. A 2-run shot. All right, folks, welcome back here with our Raiders Live postgame show, again presented here by Alfred Rods and Customs, a proud sponsor of the WHS Network. I'll tell you, that was a tough one to lose here tonight. The Raiders led early. They was on top 4-2, and then allowed Richmond to tie the game there. I believe that was in the 6th inning. Tied it there at 4. Then there in the bottom half of the 6th, the Raiders took a 5-4 lead there off of the RBI triple from Quentin James, and took that 5-4 lead. Then in the top of the 7th, again, Gabe Lappin, got the first batter, strikeout on 3 pitches. After that, things just kind of went a little haywire. You hate it for these guys. First game of the season, thrown right into the fire. You're expected to get outs. And, it just didn't work out for him this time around. It didn't work out for the Raiders in general there in that top of the 7th inning. But it happens. It's unfortunate. Nobody's trying to do that. The last thing you want is to be, giving up runs and end up losing the ball game when you should have won. But that's part of the game. You've got to learn from it, get better, and, hopefully next time out, which will be tomorrow, weather permitting. But just got to be ready to play and keep working hard at it, because again, baseball's a tough sport. Believe it or not, it really is. And these guys, they had a chance again. Obviously, with the amount of daylight we had left, or the lack thereof, that ended up costing us there in the end. But we, again, unfortunately, we kind of did it to ourselves. And I'm not trying to be mean when I say that, but that's just kind of the way that I've seen it here towards the end of this one here tonight. We had other opportunities throughout the course of the game, especially from a hitting side of things. I think that we could have done more throughout the course of the ball game to help ourselves to where we might not have necessarily even been in a predicament to where we could have lost. But again, it's a part of it that we have to learn. And unfortunately, we came up on the short end of the scoreboard this time around. But next time out, you just got to be confident that you'll be able to find a way to get the job done, and move on from here. But no doubt, it's definitely a tough loss here tonight, and especially considering that the Raiders had the bases loaded and nobody out, and then we end up having to call the game due to darkness. So can't help that aspect of it. Again, we appreciate our umpires. Done an excellent job here tonight. Scott Linton as well as Tanner Hoots. Appreciate both of them. Appreciate Richmond for coming over, making the 50-minute trip. Good ball game for opening night. Obviously, yes, you want to win. But as I mentioned there in the pregame show, a win or loss in game 1 does not make or break your season. Yes, you want to win, but we lost here tonight. That doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that we're going to stink now. This is a good team, and we'll get better. And I guarantee you, games like this, you won't even think anything about it in 2 to 3 weeks time. But in the present, these guys are probably beyond frustrated about it. But you can't do anything about it now except for move on and get better, and like I said, get back at it tomorrow. Again, the Raiders will have Muncie Central here at home. They did move the game up. It was originally supposed to be a 12 p.m. start time, so right there at noon Obviously, we have rain coming in. They're going to start the game at 10 a.m. I got to be honest with you, the way that it looks, it doesn't look like that we'll get to play tomorrow. But you never know. They was calling for more rain here tonight, and we got a very little bit right there early on in the game, and then that was it. So, I think overall, we count our blessings that we was able to even get this game in the first place. But we will not be broadcasting the ball game tomorrow, but we will be back at it this coming week with Lady Raider softball. Again, they have a couple of home games Tuesday and Wednesday night, so we hope you guys tune in. One of those games, we'll be broadcasting, but nonetheless, final score here this evening, Richmond 9, Wapahani 7. The Raiders begin the season 0-1 after this tough loss here tonight. Again, we want to thank all of our sponsors here this evening. Again, we'll go ahead and throw them up here on the screen. Again, we sure do appreciate each and every single one of our sponsors for all that they do for us. So, again, this is all of our sponsors. Sure do appreciate them. And for being supportive of Wapahani Athletics, all of our student athletes out here at Wapahani